Hi guys, good morning. I'm getting ready to harvest some potatoes today. So I planted Yukon Golds in this 3x6 raised bed out here in my garden about the beginning to mid part of April. And I'm really excited to see what's going on underneath the soil because that's where potatoes form their tubers. So first of all, if you know what variety of potato you planted, you could easily find how many days it takes for them to mature. Most of the time it'll either say on the seed packet or you can ask somebody at your local garden center or do a quick Google search. I know that Yukon Golds mature in about 100 days and we're right at about 100 days, maybe a couple days shy, but there are a couple other ways you can tell. The second way is after they form blooms. So when the plants start to form blooms, you know that they're forming tubers underneath the ground, and that's when you can actually start to harvest potatoes. A lot of people will kind of reach into the top layer of soil and will pull out little potatoes just here and there as they want for dinner. You can harvest them all up at that point if you want to, but a lot of people like to leave them for anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks after bloom time because it gives them that much more time to form bigger tubers and maybe even form a few more small tubers. And these plants bloomed about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. So I know that they're getting pretty close. And the third way to tell is when the plants start to fall over and start to brown and yellow and look pretty bad. Now it is kind of shaded in this area. When it's really sunny, you can tell a little bit more how these plants look, but they are starting to show some signs of just they're wearing out. I could technically leave these in the ground a little bit longer if I wanted to, but like I said, I do want to get these cleared out so I have time enough in the season to get another crop of something planted in this space. So the way I harvest these is just carefully. You want to use probably a garden fork is the best way because it's less of a chance of nicking potatoes and damaging them. We want as many as possible to come out intact so that they store longer. The ones, any of them that we pierce or accidentally damage, we need to eat right away because they won't store. So first of all, I'm just going to kind of get into the side of this bed. I'm going to put my gloves on first. So I'm going to just get into the side of this bed with my garden fork and just start kind of working the soil up like this. And you can already see, like, look at right there. Oh my word. Oh, look at the size of this potato. Oh my goodness. And then this is the other one that was just laying kind of almost on the surface. Okay. If this is what I'm going to find, this is exciting. I've got a tub right in front of me. Let me pull it forward a bit. So I've just got a tub here with a burlap sack on the bottom. I'm going to lay these out right here. Now, another thing I didn't mention is it's a good idea when you know you're going to harvest your potatoes to pull the water. Maybe even a couple days before you're ready to harvest. That way, the soil around them is dry, but it's not necessary to do that. I didn't. These got watered last night, so that they are going to look a little bit moist. But it's okay. We can give them a quick rinse right as soon as we're done harvesting them all to clean them up. A whole bunch of them right here, handful. So this is interesting, you guys. If you saw our first video on how to plant potatoes, you may have learned that you can cut your seed potatoes in pieces as long as each one has a good eye or two to grow from. So that's how you plant them, is just from pieces of potato, and you can see it right there very clearly, and the potato grew from the eye up that way and then formed roots down this way, and that's where it's forming its potatoes, is down here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and harvest this whole bed, and then I'll show you what we've got, and maybe even we'll try to get a weight to see how many pounds a 3x6 area produce. Look at that. And then look at that. Whoa, look at that. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Whoa. That one plant produced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 potatoes off of one plant. That's counting the little ones. Hustle, man. Kitty, kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. Hey, bud. All right, so I've got them all laid out, and I'm really happy with what I got out of that bed this year. And like I said, I could have left those plants in and let more of the tubers mature, and actually they may have formed a few more tubers along the way, but I got some really good big size tubers here. What you could do is, if you didn't need that space for anything else, the space in your garden, you could dig up a test hill or a test plant and see what's going on underneath the soil. You can harvest out anything that looks big and nice, or anything that you want to eat at that time. Then you can replant the plant and water it in really well and let the other tubers start to mature and form larger. So, I could have left these size of potatoes attached to the roots of the plant, and then replanted, watered, and then these would have grown a little bit bigger. But like I said, I did want room to plant another crop in that space. The other thing is if you are planting potatoes a little bit later in the season than I did, or if you've got potatoes that are a longer maturity day so they need to stay in the ground longer, potatoes can actually take a light frost, and you can wait until the potato plant is completely died back before you harvest. That's totally fine as well. When you get your potatoes up out of the ground, you'll notice that if their skin is nice and firm and it doesn't like rub off like that, that means that they're like perfect for storage. I did see a few potatoes, let's see, like this one right here. See how that skin wants to just rub off? That means that they're a little bit too new is what they're called. They haven't had time to get old or mature. Their skin hasn't had a chance to really firm up. So these are ones I'm going to want to use pretty quick in the kitchen, but you know what, we'll burn through these potatoes pretty quick. So I will start utilizing those right away. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let them sit out in a kind of dark place. I'm going to move these to the barn just looking just like this, and I'm going to let them cure for a week or two. So that means just let them sit out, let them dry. And then I will scrape, like rub the dirt off really gently. I did say earlier that you could give them a quick rinse, which is fine. It's probably better to leave the dirt attached, let them cure, and then clean the dirt off so that you don't introduce any moisture in, which can make them rot if they don't dry out properly. But if you want to rinse them clean and get that dirt off, you can do that, but just make sure you've got them stored in a super well ventilated area to dry, and that they have dried completely before trying to store them. So just real quick, I'm not planning on storing these for very long, but if you are planning to store your potatoes, you want to put them in a spot that's dark, well ventilated, that's right around like between 40 and 55 degrees, and I know that's really hard to find. In fact, like we usually try to store most of our stuff in our basement, and it doesn't get that cold down there. So if you have a root cellar or something like that, it's ideal, but not a lot of us have that. So just put them in a paper bag or a burlap sack, something like that, and it will help them store longer. The refrigerator is too cold. What will happen if you put them in the fridge is that they will actually start to sweeten. The sugars will start to develop, and it makes them rot a lot faster, and it makes them turn brown when you fry them or cook them. So we don't want that. So anyway, I'm really happy with this, super excited, and I hope that this video was helpful for you guys if you are newbies to growing potatoes. And I'm hoping for even better luck and success next year. Every year we get better, right? So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.